It started with a whisper in the middle of the night. They said the cabin in the woods was abandoned, but they were wrong. It wasn't empty. Jake had planned this trip for weeks, a quiet weekend away from the city. Him and his two friends. Just a simple getaway, or at least that's what he thought. The forest was deeper than expected, tall trees blocking almost all the light. The air felt heavy, cold, almost unnatural. As they reached the cabin, Jake noticed something strange. There were no animal sounds, no wind, no insects, just silence, a dead, empty silence. "Feels weird out here," one of his friends said. Jake forced a smile. "It's just the forest." But deep inside, he knew something wasn't right. Night fell quickly, too quickly. The cabin was now surrounded by complete darkness. Inside, they lit a small lamp. The yellow light barely touched the walls. Shadows stretched longer than they should. Then, a sound. A slow, scratching sound. From outside, everyone froze. "Did you hear that?" No one answered. The scratching continued, slow, deliberate, like something trying to get in. Jake stood up. "I'll check." His voice wasn't as confident as he wanted it to be. He grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside. Cold air hit his face instantly. The forest looked different now, darker, alive. He pointed the light toward the trees. Nothing. Then suddenly, movement, something slipped between the trees. Too fast, too unnatural. Jake's heart started racing. "Hello?" No response. Then, bang! The cabin door slammed shut behind him. Jake turned quickly. "Guys?" Silence. He rushed back to the door, tried to open it. Locked. His breath got heavier. "I didn't lock it." Then, from behind him, a voice, soft, broken. "You shouldn't be here." Jake froze. Slowly, he turned around. At the edge of the forest, a tall figure stood, completely still. Its body too long, too thin. Its face wasn't visible, just darkness. Jake couldn't move. His body felt paralyzed. Then suddenly, the figure moved fast, too fast. Jake screamed and ran toward the cabin. This time, the door opened. He rushed inside, slamming it shut. His friends were gone. The cabin was empty. "Guys," his voice echoed. No answer. Then footsteps inside the cabin. Slow, heavy, coming from upstairs. Jake's heart nearly stopped. They were downstairs. Step, creak, step, creak. Something was upstairs, and it wasn't his friends. Jake slowly moved backward, trying to reach the door, but it wouldn't open. locked again. Then a whisper, "Come here." Jake shook his head. No, but his feet started moving on their own, step by step. He walked toward the stairs, each step louder than the last. The air grew colder. He reached the top. The hallway was empty. Then, at the far end, he saw them, his friends, standing still, back turned. Guys, they didn't move. Slowly, their heads turned.
But the footsteps were now behind him, faster, closer, right behind him. He could feel it, breathing. Then everything went silent, complete silence, too quiet. The next morning, police found the cabin empty. No Jake, no friends, nothing. Just one thing on the wooden door. 3 long, deep scratches, and underneath a message, "You came." And deep inside the forest, if you listen carefully, very carefully, you can still hear footsteps following you right now.